You have more breaking news also which is coming in. Well, India has raised a very serious alarm over the security of the Strait of Hormuz, which, remember, remains partially open because Iran has said that it is only open to friends. Now you have India warning that any disruption in the crucial maritime corridor could have far-fetching economic consequences as well for the entire world. New Delhi has cautioned that instability in the region could trigger a global supply shock, with energy flows and trade routes being at risk. India has also strongly condemned the attacks on civilian maritime infrastructure as well, calling them completely unacceptable. But at the same time, India has also urged all sides, and remember, India has not taken a side in this war. India has said that we are only going to side with forces which are going to stabilize and ensure that there is peace in the world. India has urged that everything, the tension must be de-escalated, stressing there is a need to ensure the safety of international shipping lanes and maintaining stability in global markets. Listen in to MEA's Vikram Misri and what he has to say.
Thank you to the Secretary General of the IMO for his efforts and focus on seafarers and the maritime economy. We convey our deepest condolences to families of seafarers injured or killed in the ongoing conflict in West Asia. Of the 7 fatalities mentioned by the Secretary General, 3 are Indian seafarers, 4 more are injured, and 1 is missing. India remains deeply concerned about the evolving situation and continues to call for de-escalation through dialogue and diplomacy, with utmost restraint and priority being given to the safety of civilians. Targeting of commercial shipping and attacks on civilian maritime infrastructure is unacceptable. Such attacks have resulted in the loss of innocent lives, injuries, and heightened risks, including to seafarers. India is among the top 3 seafarer supplying nations, contributing approximately 13% of global seafaring workforce. We remain deeply concerned about the safety and welfare of all seafarers. An estimated 23,000 Indian seafarers have been impacted by the current crisis. At present, 24 Indian-flagged vessels are operating the Persian Gulf region, including 22 vessels west of the Strait of Hormuz, with 611 Indian seafarers on board, and 2 vessels east of the Strait of Hormuz, with 47 seafarers on board. All vessels and crew are being closely monitored for their safety and security. India's energy security and trade are critically dependent on the safe and unimpeded passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Any disruption, obstruction, or closures of these vital waterways have direct consequences for India's economy and for global energy and humanitarian supply chains. Our government has instituted robust response mechanisms, including a 24/7 helpline for all seafarers, irrespective of nationality, and a quick response team set up by India's Director General.
Let me go across to Mayank, who's joining us live from Tel Aviv. This is a big concern. In fact, you have European Union also yesterday, all the countries signing a joint statement saying that we condemn this kind of breaking of the entire oil supply chains due to the Strait of Hormuz being under siege and only being partially open. India today has echoed that global supply chains of energy must not be disrupted. And that has been India's consistent stand, isn't it?
India's energy security is dependent on Strait of Hormuz is the statement which has been made by our Foreign Secretary. And in this case, nothing could be as true as that. Not only that, if the flagship is of other country, on that also seafarers are generally largely from India. So their security is also involved. Having said that, these statements which are coming out of having different views of hitting the energy infrastructure between Israel and US also signifies that right from the beginning, the conditions which were made that no energy facility will be hit and should be precluded is coming back, and it is troubling the entire globe now, which includes every continent, whether it's Europe or Asia. In Asia specifically, the larger energy needs were met from this side only. Also, not only Asia's energy security, but then that side, which is Gulf countries, they supply energy to the world. So it is a troublesome thing. People are worried, and that has to be understood by these facts. And people are worried because it will hit the masses in a difficult, and will put them in a difficult state So although the war is between Israel, the US and Iran, but then whole world is getting engulfed gradually. Now Iran is not letting up because it's hitting now all the energy facilities, which includes the facility in Haifa in Israel also. So it is getting troublesome with each passing time, and the way the envelope of the targets has started including the energy security bases, energy producing facilities, energy supply storage facilities also. It is going to trouble the people. We have two Israeli citizens with us, and let us talk to them and understand their views on this war which is right now going on. We are from India, and if you could see a few minutes back, the sirens were sounding in this place. How do you see everything which is going on right now here?
So we're used to it. Since we were born, we grew up to these wars, and like it's always coming up. But I think this time is something bigger because we're dealing with actually there's a chance to make the regime of Iran falling and free its people. And I think something that happened during this time is it's really connected between the Iranian people, like the real Iranian people, that liberals that want to live, and the Israeli. And I hope that this thing, we will finish it, and the Iranian people will be free, and we will be able to visit Iran.
Please state your name for the people of India.
I'm Tomer. That's my name.
So, as you heard, Tomer, he also believes that the regime change has to take place. But the way the Prime Minister yesterday spoke about it, he could not find a schedule, or he could not signify a schedule and a time. Let us talk to the other lady here with us. What do you have to say, as Tomer was saying that regime change would be there? You can tell what is your view on this entire war. Yeah.
So and we all at the time have to run to the shelter. So sometimes we have to do it every 2 hours, every 3 hours.
That's fine.
No, it's we have to really get used to it. But it's something that we are really willing to do also for the Iranian people, and also I think it's for the whole world, because if Iran will keep being stronger and have ballistic missiles, it can threat all the world. You see what they're doing if they don't have like a nuclear weapon, and they just have ballistic missiles. They attack all their neighbors. So if it will come to also if they have the possibility, they would attack Europe, and if they have nuclear weapons, the whole world will be in danger. So I think it's something that we and the United States are doing now for the whole world.
So if you hear, yesterday Prime Minister Netanyahu has also sounded the same thing actually. Iran,
Well,
so
yes.
it is 10 minutes back, hardly 10 to 15 minutes back, we had to rush into the bunkers. So he's talking about the same thing, and Israelis have become used to it. That's what Toronto, he signified.
Well, absolutely. So you just spoke to some of the Israelis. They are saying, well, this has been rather routine for us. We've seen it since we were growing up. Remember the kind of bloody history that Israel has shared in the past with Iran and with the other neighbors, specifically Palestine as well. So it's not new to them that they have these sirens blaring. But this time, you just heard some of the Israelis saying that there is a real chance for a regime change in Iran, which is why they're supporting the war. Meanwhile, red alert sirens have been sounded across central Israel, Jerusalem area specifically. In fact, right now in Tel Aviv,